feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the great.
When I was in high school, I had to take an extra year because I'd literally failed. And even though it was my responsibility to do the hard work, even though it was my responsibility to study, and even though it was my responsibility to make sure that I passed, I just couldn't focus. And I still take full responsibility for not being able to pass that year. But if I'd known what I do now, I would have been one of the top students, if not the top student in my class. The thing that I didn't realize at the time was that my backpack and the way it was organized, my room and the way it was organized, was a direct representation of my mind at the time. My mind was so full of garbage and distractions that I couldn't focus on work. I couldn't focus on what was important. I didn't even know what was important at the time. That's how diluted my mind was. I thought that my progress in video games meant more than my progress in school, and I validated it like that. I literally put video games over my own schoolwork. And that's how lost I was at the time. But here's the thing. Those evil companies that have created those video games, they know what they were doing. They knew that they were going to be taking advantage of kids who wanted to focus in school. They knew they were going to be tanking some kids' grades. And they knew that they would even be distracting kids from focusing on their work and on what matters to them most. But do you think they care? The only thing that those companies care about is profit. And to them, you mean nothing more than money. I remember how I'd literally be sitting in class and I would open up the Xbox app on my phone and I would go through the game clips that I had in class and just watch them. And so while my teachers were trying to actually teach me and to help me out, I was literally just watching videos of video games. Think about how messed up that is. My teachers are there, present and trying to help me, and I'm just there watching video game videos in front of them. And honestly, it was my fault, but I don't blame myself at the time because I just wasn't aware of what was going on. I didn't realize that the more that I played, the more isolated I became. These video games were literally wasting time in my life, wasting time where I could be with my family, wasting time where I could be out with friends doing fun and exciting things like a teenager should be doing. These games just made me more dependent on them. And instead of making friends in the real world, I would go and play video games with random people that literally had no cares about me. They just saw me as a playing partner. And so what these games do is literally isolate you from your real life friends and make you dependent on the games to make friends. And the people who made these games, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what to put in the game to make you more addicted. And that's all they're doing. That's why it feels so compelling and so magnetic when you get home and that you feel that urge, especially if you've been playing, to go and sit and spend the rest of the day playing video games, because that's how addictive they are. And video games are so addictive that half of the people watching this that play video games, they're not even going to agree with what I'm saying because they're so deluded that they actually think that there's no problem with the video games, that nothing I'm saying is true. And so I just want to help to open your eyes, and hopefully you're getting my message. These games, they literally trick you into thinking you're making progress, right? Because when you're playing a game and you're making progress, that's when the addiction comes, because it feels like you're progressing. It feels like you're doing things. And so you become dependent on that game to make you feel like you're making progress in anything in life, when in reality, you're not. And something that these video games did to me was they made me sedentary. They made me lazy. They made me not feel like going out and working out or moving or doing anything. Because why would I go out and make myself uncomfortable? Why would I go out and do things that didn't feel great, even though they were healthy, when I could just sit inside and play games the whole day? When I can sit inside in my comfort zone and do nothing but explore the virtual world? Why would I go out and explore the real world when I have one here? And so that's the trap that these companies set for you. They'll literally make entire virtual worlds so that you can stay in and keep playing. And so while you're sitting inside, not even getting sunlight, not even moving, you're sedentary, you're not moving, so you're going to be putting on weight. You're going to be easily able to put on weight. And so these video games literally keep you physically weak. And so the weaker and weaker that you feel, the less and less that you want to go out and explore the world, the less and less that you want to go out and hit the gym and work out and make your body physically strong, because it kind of gets into the back of your brain that, oh, I'm weak. Oh, I just need to sit inside and play the games. And that's that constant cycle they want to keep you in. And so by this point, you're playing the game just to avoid real world problems. And so as your real life gets more and more empty, the more and more dependent you become on these video games, like I was. And so you literally turn to the game as an escape from the real world. And so this literally just gets you to sink deeper and deeper into this lifestyle. And unfortunately, this is exactly what the big video game companies want. They'll never admit it. They'll never say that this is what they want, but it is. They don't care about what happens to you. They only care about the money they get from you. And so this is literally just a vicious cycle of dependence, of being weak, of being isolated, and of being lonely. So you go to the games to feel less lonely, when in reality, you're just becoming more and more. And so as you lose time, as you waste your life away, what do you think the companies do? What do you think they're doing right now? As millions of people are wasting their lives away, what do you think they're doing? They're making billions of dollars as we speak. And so as millions and millions of people are sacrificing their health, sacrificing their happiness, and sacrificing their true potential, they're making billions of dollars off of it. And so they don't actually care about you. They're just a profit machine there to make money. And so they literally want you to become addicted and want you to stick to that cycle. And so here's the thing. This isn't something that you can just quit in one day. For me, it took about a year to quit fully. But the thing is, some people are actually going to be able to quit in a day. So it really depends on the person. But one of the best things we can do is to just slowly start decreasing our time playing the games, and then start increasing our time spent with family, start increasing our time spent with friends, start increasing our time spent going out. And so those are going to set us back up with the social groups that we can spend outside of staying inside. And so as we make more and more connections in real life, the more we're going to be able to connect with people in the real world. And if we connect more with people in the real world, we're going to spend less time in the virtual world. So just start establishing these connections today. Start going out and talking to your friends, talking to your family in real life, and just enjoying conversations and enjoying present time with them. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably going to feel really boring at first, especially if you're addicted to the games. And that's because the games have been created to spike your emotions, to spike the way you feel, so that you can keep coming back to them over and over again. And so I'm going to be honest, life is probably going to seem a little bit boring, especially as you decrease your time playing video games, because those games are made to be like hyper stimulants, which is literally why they're addictive in the first place. But after you spend some time with them, you'll realize just how much more fulfilling it is to be present in real life. And another thing you can do is gamify your life. Set goals in real life that you want to achieve. Set fitness goals, mental health goals, meditating goals, reading goals, education goals, anything. Start setting goals that you want to achieve in real life and start working towards those goals. And so if you want a full guide on flipping that switch in your brain to reach any of those goals and to find the true mission in your life, click on the link down below that I leave for you so that you can start taking the steps required in order to find your true mission and to start going towards it. And something I realized about working on your real life goals is that there's so much more satisfaction when you achieve those goals, or even when you're just working towards the goals. There's so much more satisfaction than you get from leveling up in a video game. Because like, oh yeah, sure, I leveled up in a video game. Like, cool guys, I leveled up. Versus going to the gym and all the guys are like, yo, you're huge. You know, leveling up in real life just means so much more. And so yeah, you might honestly, and so be honest with yourself, bro. You're probably going to end this video and go back to playing the video games within a day. You're probably going to walk past the gaming console and just hear it calling your name. And you're going to think of your most favorite game that you're playing right now, the game that you've been grinding out for a while. You're going to think of it and be like, oh, I got to get back to it. I got to get back to it. But the truth is, do you really need to get back to it? Do you actually need it? And you might be thinking, oh, my friends, you know, they wanted to play. And then your friend like sends you a message that's like, yo, hop on, hop on. Now that you're aware of what it's doing to you, how are you going to respond to that? And so what I recommend for you, bro, is to just limit your time for a while. If you try to quit all at once, you're probably going to end up going back on it and never trying again to quit. So maybe all that you need to do today is play a little bit less and live a little bit more. And so if you do this every day, you play a little bit less today, a little bit less tomorrow, and a little bit less in like 3 days, and you do it every single day, just a tiny bit less, like 10, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes less every day, eventually you're going to reach zero. Like, you're going to feel no need to play them. And so you start filling that time with things that you really want to do with your life. You start filling that time, spending it with family, spending it with friends, spending it with the people that actually matter to you, instead of spending it with the random guys that you met on Rocket League. And then you start to get more and more fulfilled and satisfied with your real life. And it gets to a point where you become so fulfilled and satisfied that you no longer feel a need to waste your time on those games. You no longer feel a need to spend time with random people that you don't really care about. You might even start investing into your future. And so here's your action step for today. Spend a little bit less time playing the games and spend a little bit more time living. If you don't really know what to fill that time with, I recommend reading, writing, spending time outside, spending time with family or friends, or watching or learning something that's going to give you value, something that's going to help you. And if that's the case, you can check out the rest of my videos, because I try to provide as many learning experiences as I can for you. And so I talk a lot about leadership and charisma. And so if you're interested in those two things because you want to stop playing video games and you want to start learning how to be more social and how to connect with people in the real world, I'm going to leave a few links down in the description that are going to help you with that. My name is Justin, and remember, you deserve the consequences of your actions.